morning. It is Sunday, September 6th, I think, but it's Sunday for sure. I'm Barbara. Welcome. One more beautiful day here in southeastern Pennsylvania for our Labor Day weekend. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Not a cloud in the sky, not even a contrail. And I'm feeling good. I slept last night. I did take my melatonin. I have no idea if it helped her. Hello. I dropped you. I've been having trouble with my claw. My claw is my little stand that I use for my phone. Hope that didn't make you seasick. I took my melatonin. But I really do appreciate all the suggestions about meditation and yoga and things, and I'm 100% on board with that. And you know, Leslie says, you know, I'm into it, and I know she is, and I know she does an online meditation class, but she does that class with you know, it's sort of an online version of a class she had been doing. So. But there could be online classes for beginners, people, you know, I mean, if ever there were a time when you might need start meditating, it's the time of Corona. And those kinds of things are doable over the internet. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can't do over the internet, but that's not one of them. So anyway, I will add that to my list. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I also got a script for a DEXA scan. So I'm going to add, you know, make an appointment for a DEXA scan to my list too. I'm very excited about that. See about my bone density and my muscles and my, you know, sort of the makeup of my body vis-a-vis fat and muscles and bone. I'm interested. I don't have a baseline. I have never had one before, so I don't know what it was before. And I realized when I was reading your comments and talking about yoga, I realized, you know, I've always had, you know, some interest in yoga, but I was never confident that my body could do yoga. I was never confident in my body before. And I'm, not that I'm exactly confident in my body, but my body's changed, and now I'm thinking that maybe yoga would be something I could do. Except of course in the time of Corona, I'm not gonna, and there's a yoga studio just across the street from my gym. But as I'm not going to the gym, I'm also not gonna start going to a yoga place. But it's something that I could really think about and research on the interwebs. Certainly something I can do. So I'm going to be doing that, and thank you so much for all the suggestions. I really appreciate it. One more project, but it's going to go on my list. I have not crossed anything off my list yet. Well, some of it, many of the things can't be finished until Tuesday, like making phone calls, and I have packages to make, but I can't mail them till Tuesday, things like that. So, but I could make up the packages. I should put makeup package, mail packages as separate line items on my list. Crossing things off your list is very important. I should have put make a list as the first thing on my list. Then I could cross that off anyway. Maybe I should just actually look at my list and get going. I didn't look for my iron. But I will. There are several things that I need to do upstairs, so I'm going to just make a trip upstairs and do a few things while I'm there. I come straight down because I come and talk to you first thing in the morning with my coffee. It's not your fault that I'm not doing the things upstairs. It's just the way my schedule works as I come straight down. Because I want to talk to you while Dennis is still getting organized so that if he wants to be outside, he can come outside or wherever he wants to be. And he doesn't feel comfortable hanging out while I'm talking to you, and I think I would feel a little weird too, so that works out. But that means that, you know, I try to talk to you first thing, which makes me come down the steps and, you know, whatever. So I went to the grocery store yesterday because I had ordered something and they had it in for me. And while I was there, I bought myself a small, I could have brought it out and I didn't, a small glass container. It's supposed to be for water, but it's really quite small, much smaller than most of the ones you see these days. So it probably holds about 12 ounces is my guess. And it's glass. And I bought it to decant my cod liver oil into. So I needed something and I wanted glass. And I, you know, the dogs ate the lid off the cod liver oil, and it ended up leaking a little bit. And so I wanted to just get rid of that jar and start over. And it had a syringe unit for how much cod liver oil I should be taking, and so I tested the size of that, and it turns out it's exactly the size of the small spoon in my cutlery set. So, you know, just like take your medicine, you put it in the spoon, you know, and it's gonna work fine. And it's a cute little glass thing. So I took the label off, and I'm getting the labels out of the inside of it, and inside this glass thing is a sticker, and you're supposed to put the sticker on the outside of your glass, and it wasn't clear to me where it would go. It didn't matter, but anyway, the point of the sticker was you get an app on your phone and you scan the sticker every time you take a glass of water, and it tracks your hydration and this and that and this and that. I'm like, seriously? So this is, when they say there's an app for that, I get, you know, for everything, I guess they're not kidding. But I mean, seriously? You want the NSA to know when you're drinking your water? I mean, it's probably got a locator on it too, you know, so that they can tell if you're drinking your water in the house or outside or whatever. Like, who does that? I don't know. Anyway, it struck me as very odd. I put it in the garbage so they can track my garbage. Of course, I didn't download the app. I don't download very many apps. I mean, I end up with a lot of apps on my phone, don't get me wrong. But, like, I can't even think of somebody said download an app and do, you know, and it's like, I do this so rarely. Why would I download an app that, you know, I forget what it was now. It was so bizarre to me. Like, why would I have an app on my phone for this? I understand that that's not very entertaining since I can't remember anything about what it was. But it was just such an obscure thing I was doing, and there was an app for that. Anyway, I found it pretty hilarious that they think I'm putting a sticker on my bottle so that I can, and downloading an app for my water bottle. I mean, an app for my water bottle? I understand if you're keeping track of your whatever, your food or whatever, you also track how much water you drink. And it's important to stay hydrated, but I think this whole thing about water, you know, my problem with exercise and nutrition advice is that so little of it is based on science that I just find it much more reasonable to, you know, just like dismiss it all, which is too bad, because some of it might be based on science, but most of it, the vast majority of it is not. I mean, they're starting to do science around these things now, and so maybe once the findings come out in a place where I have some confidence in it, maybe I'll pay closer attention to that. But, you know, like this thing with the 10,000 steps, you know, somebody just picked that number. Somebody picked a number. They just pulled it right out of their hat. They just picked a number. You know, you got to drink 8 cups of water a day. Somebody just picked that number. There's, you know, maybe there's science behind that. I'd be really interested to know. But anyway, so I know a lot of people get really intense about their water drinking, and maybe they're the people who need a nap. But I don't need a nap. An app. I need a nap. But my doctor told me not to nap. I told her, don't worry, I don't nap. She thought maybe that was my problem with my sleeping. Like, no. I would love to nap. If I were able to nap, I wouldn't care that I wasn't sleeping at night. But anyway, I'm not letting my water bottle tell me, be the boss of me. And I'm not putting an app for it on my phone. And I know water's good for me. Don't worry. I do understand that water's good for me. It's just this this certainty in the amount of water everybody should be drinking that I think is just somebody had some common sense reason for picking this number, and then everybody repeats it. Everybody repeats it. Somebody says something at one time in an authoritative way, and then everybody repeats it like it's gospel. That's my problem. It's important to drink water. I understand that. I'm just wondering how much, and surely it's different for everybody. So, and I also question why they say, and it's got to be water, it can't be tea or herbal tea or whatever. I understand caffeine because caffeine is a diuretic, so it counteracts the drinking. But herbal teas, you know, why is water infused with rose petals and lavender and, you know, ginger? Why doesn't it count? It's things like that that don't make sense to me. I've become much more skeptical in my old age, let me tell you. But I've always been skeptical about the nutrition stuff that, you know, I mean, I've said for decades and decades and decades, you know, if you don't like what they're telling you, whether or not you can eat it or not, wait 5 years and they'll change their mind. Tell me I'm wrong. We can eat butter now, we can eat salt now, we can eat, you know. Crisco's bad for you. They didn't tell you that 10 years ago. I do not know. This was all because of that stupid label inside my water jar, my cod liver oil jar. I'm feeling really good about taking my cod liver oil. It's not terrible. I have my coffee ready before I take it, and there are studies about vitamin D and vitamin A and how important they are in your body. So I am not a science denier. I am denying that a lot of what we talk about is science. They're two different things altogether, because I am a believer in science. unfortunately, nutrition hasn't been a scientific endeavor for very long. All those people were not scientists. And what they did was not science. "15 minutes. I'm gonna have to start over. 15 minutes in, and I haven't shown you. I might have to start over and get rid of all that rant. Always a rant with me. And I woke up feeling cheerful. Look at what I have. I'm not done yet, but I only have an inch to go. Literally an inch. Here's my sweater. Can you see how it dips further in the back than the front? And I am on my last inch. I put it on waste yarn yesterday and tried it on to try to figure out how long I wanted it. You can see the back is longer than the front because it's got a swoop in the back. And it needed a swoop in the back. I love that swoop in the back. It needed the swoop in the back because when I tried it on, well, it's a little artificial anyway when I try it on because I just put a lifeline in it and then I stretch it so it comes partly off the needle, but not all the way off the needle because I'm just checking for length and then it's fewer stitches to put back on my needle. But that means that it doesn't hang like in a normal way, which might or might not be a problem when you're trying to check length, but I don't think it's as big a problem as putting all those needles back, stitches back on the needle. And so it wasn't hanging naturally, but the back seemed like more sticky-outy than the front, and I'm sure it was the needle. But that was before I put the swoop in. And it looked like, always looked shorter in the back to me, and I'm not sure why, because the boobs in the front, you would think it would look shorter in the front, but it often looks shorter in the back to me. And so that swoop is perfect, and my sweater's almost done. I knit all night on that mohair, and it didn't bother me. It must have been my mood, or I was more tired the night before. But the other thing with mohair, which I'm sure if you've ever knit with mohair, you've already discovered on your own and don't need me to tell you, that you're always picking mohair out of your mouth, out of your nose, out of your coffee cup. It's everywhere. I'm like always going, ooh. But I love the way it's knitting up. I love the look of it. And it is not sheer in the way I kind of expected it to be. That fuzz really fills in to keep it from looking very sheer. So I'm finishing that today. That baby's going to be blocking tonight. I guess that means I might do a podcast tomorrow because I'll have a finished object. I didn't do much in the way of whipping because I did a whole sweater, but I did work on Ella's boxy and I did work on my High Street pullover. I had torn that back and I'm almost back to where I used up all that yarn, so I have a little bit. Oh, I gotta finish Ella's boxy because I want to start on my new sweater, which is also going to be green. I could knit 2 green sweaters at the same time, right? I could. Oh, the sleeves on this sweater turned out to not be really legit 3/4. They come right here. So they're just below the elbow, barely below the elbow. If I wanted to, I could have them above the elbow and it wouldn't look weird. It wouldn't look like bunchy or anything. So this is going to be a spring fall sweater. I don't think it's going to make it into winter, although it comes high on the neck. So with a turtleneck underneath, it would. Oh, maybe I should be looking for a long pink turtleneck because it's going to need something long underneath because it's cropped. It's a crop sweater. So when I raise my hands, it goes up. So I'm gonna need a cami or something under it anyway. I might as well find a turtleneck, maybe a light pink turtleneck that goes long. What do you think? That turns it into a winter outfit, and it's so bright and lovely. And I'm really happy with the change I made. I think the transition is so cool and much better than the stripes I had before. And it turned out that my vision, although I envisioned a bigger stripe of just mohair, but the cobblestone lasted much longer than I thought in terms of the sweater. I'm going to have a lot of mohair left. So it's possible that her yarn requirements are kind of pretty generous in terms of what the pattern says, because that's quite a bit of mohair. Now I do have an inch to go, but so this is technically not really a Leslie because I bought this to go with it rather than digging around in my stash, which I have no stash of mohair. That's not true. I have one skein of mohair. I have the mohair I bought to make the birds of a feather. Thank you for whoever reminded me. The birds of the feather. And I only have like one stray ball of mohair. Other than that was from the give and take table at SSK, and there was a skein of really wacky green color from Stranded of mohair, and I took it. Have not figured out where that's going, but anyway, so I don't have a stash of mohair, so I couldn't do a real true Leslie and just find something in my stash that matched my vision. So, but I am so excited about my sweater, so it'll be done today. I'm finishing it today for sure. I am not planning on going anywhere today. I had to go out and about a little bit yesterday. Oh, and I was going to stop at AC Moore to see about even weave, and in case my pattern ever comes, and it was closed. Absolutely empty. This store is permanently closed. Now, I don't know if AC Moore closed as an entire enterprise or just my store, but my AC Moore store is gone. Killed by the COVID, I think. So that was too bad. I mean, I shopped there. I didn't shop there tons, but I shopped there every once in a while. Gone. Oh, and my earrings. And then I gotta go because it's already 23 minutes. These are silver earrings. They have a little bit of an etched design on them. They're fun. I have no idea where I got these. I've had them for a long time. And they're good for a sweater because they don't have anything catchy on the bottom, so you can have long. And my hair looks pretty good today. I wet it this morning. I didn't wet it yesterday. That's just when I wake up. So I fixed it for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It makes my life so much sweeter having you guys in it. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I wish this weather on all of you, every single one of you. I wish you could have weather like today. Somebody's cutting up some wood, however. I don't know if you can hear my neighbor. But anyway, please take good care of yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe and stay sane. I can't turn you off.